So it's the 10th day of December 2020, a Thursday afternoon. To yet another exciting edition of our show, Ekosiisen Live on Asempa FM. Into a day after the declaration of results, the official one from the Electoral Commission in the just ended general elections, presidential and parliamentary. There are still some issues remaining, especially with the parliamentary elections. And we would attempt to tell you what we know of parliamentary elections and how things are shaping up in the 8th Parliament, which will be inaugurated on the 7th of January 2021. And Monshan and so MIA will bring you the backstories to all the major election issues. And Monshan and so MIA, many of your say bones from you be a major so and the Atnasi 6:30 p.m. na Jumedi and Ebe. What we want to do and we'll be bringing you some of the big reactions. Unim say elections we you won't call phobia opposite what wonka. A man for a winning election or more elusu ye and idea you would want to hear from. And we have them all lined up for you. Anyone you be in come but in between time no NDC a press conference and Information Ministry and so by Minister's press briefing and we'll bring you all those too. Here we are. Mr. Kwakwanyi the whole be passing through the show here. Executive Director, founder of the Atamels Institute. Now official elections observer in this election. How the general process now went and all of that. We have a really packed show this Thursday afternoon. Nescafe Sweet and Creamy Air Boyen, Agbewe Herbal Center, Amponsa Ifa Pharmaceuticals, Obapa Company Limited, Omonso Eso Yen Asen, Sanso Ena, Cocoa Dairy Free Coconut Milk, EcoBank Ghana, Vodafone, The Builders Bazaar, Rockstars Roofing Systems, your Consolidated Bank of Ghana, Bell Aqua, sounds of Freshman, Fresh Lady, Fresco Capsules, Omonso Ebwayen, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil, and Napa, say Oye and Napa, no so cool. Franco Trading Enterprise, Bell Aqua Active, or stay true to originality, Seahorse Engine Oil, Global Lighten, and a TCL, The Creative Life. Mamenkai will say we are live on a number of affiliate radio stations across the length and breadth of Ghana, from Tamale to Bibiani and Yaso Bekwai. Yedamunyana se esaima munyana akwaba. What's very important to us and it's Ubit Mashe on Facebook Live. Oko Facebook, search for Asempa 94.7 FM and get to watch our live streaming on Facebook. We are on Twitter, we're on YouTube. Oko YouTube, our channel Asempa 94.7 FM on YouTube. Ubetimi so Ashayen live YouTube and so. And please join us with your thoughts, your comments, your observations, and let's stay interactive. Your WhatsApp line is 0546 382 287 0546 382 287. Ubetmashe live so my hand kwabena sante atenase ye de me hear some segment no ebrel sound so na Joseph Opoku Gakpo will be joining us, or parliamentary correspondent for Joy News. So about now if you share how Parliament is looking like, in the 8th Parliament. You see, under the current Parliament, the 7th Parliament of the 4th Republic. After inauguration on the 7th of January, we would have the 8th Parliament. And how would that Parliament look like? Nipa say and the current Parliament yimwa. Omon Emma that 8th Parliament. We'll bring you all those analysis. You know that Jiwakunya netna say netie. Wetie bebrena ba eneno. Get the authoritative information. Ekosiisen, the award-winning late afternoon political talk show. Ekosiisen live on Asempa FM. 27 minutes after 2. Omanhehe kwabena sante. Apabana apomwe.
Well, Obi Onyame adom. Any Pentecost nyame. Only apostolic nyame o makabum.
Yes.
Apostolic Empowerment Ministry. Only cry wo Nintaban Cassiana. So on say January near share your home boss a better trade ampon in Unasi. Inti our advocacy was that Oman Ghana so no a radio humo bro and twice so especially in a year of election and I said do the proper countdown 3 months to elections no na I say dia ye di mo Oman Ghana any ye kasa any yo even though as journalists we didn't get it 100%. As Omaini Timemufo, we didn't get it 100%. As Amanyo Semfo, any Amanyo Kuahodo, we didn't get it 100%. But Mejidi say Ebenezer, we can smile. Say baby, Onyame Edia Bedu Enye. There are still bits of disagreements and arguments, but it doesn't change it. Say Onyame atinenim achire Oman Ghana. Inti enonkwa kekeno say. Yet the Obonyuman Central Human be on a share, Jumadi ideas, no, it because a Ghana, Yabatu 2 year was boring in Kotu dia. Now Ususua, Ojina Hun say Ampa, ya share or town funeni woo, if he say Nedia Nanka, O Susu Senke Bebenye. And Debia Dameka say, will continue to be that model now. We are say not just even Africa, we are say Ebeshayen na Omanya Dusia Papa. Edia frima ba if say ama Ghana enye nipa ni nyina esusu ye nie na nipa ni binum susu ye ne se sanke ye ka sei ka eja atoha akameni minua obi kura no ye ntem nye den engo ba kokora oro nyame adom ni na humo bro no onyame ama enkunimdi asire akire Oman Ghana se enkunimdi asire a eno nkyere se yawde ni ho enkunimdi asire a eno nkyere se osu ni ho enkunimdi asire eno nkyere se adwajo no nemum how we are able to manage all these defects, you know, and then the uniqueness of a year of my Ghana. And the ability to say, you know, and yadia, yado bepa, and yadia, ebeba kutia, yadia, ebeka bibia, nemum, afimuni na yebeteki stock, titru abatu brim, the ye, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Bribia dano, afini kone yuya as onipedia krano, one kasa house si wabra bona hwesede esikoye as adwumakuo no wotrase sese adwuma we ekosen na amamuni nyina so no ebre sese ye de tenase ne reflect ne hu sede baabi asinto baaye baabi anoma nhyedan koyie ebre no so nie se tenase na yesese ho because ade ba ko a eno adameka o TV so ene se Ghana fo nyina no yan will be free Afghanistan and yan will be free Ethiopia. Say obi wo NDC a onye eye Czechoslovakia ni and obi wo MPP a oye India ni obi anye Ghana ni sebe enchen Ghana ni na edubri bia na adwento ato na agyenkyere ne ba ese ebi kofa benkum na ebi fa nifa ne nyina sa kwan no ede ekokoro baakum eye Ghana ana ede ekọ memfa sa kwanya wazo na menna eye de obone century adwuma no menna wona nyina city to your headquarters yeah there we've admitted and it's acknowledged if we say ohwe mukra na amai ayoko from penyufo ni nyina no eto de no baby ana on de ho atoso no the multimedia group the election headquarters kokromoti power obeko John Dramani Mahama Fie the former president of flag bearer of the NDC election headquarters obeko Nana Adodanko Akufo Addo Fie no na on the vice almost watiada on so election headquarters enti edia dance say amfo and be chede nto aso ana hwene panso nkasa enti yan de yan kasa pi na enuanom a ene no mo twa kra se ye de figure bi tu ansa na mo so abo asho mo di mu nyina no ye ka kiro mo se ye domas ye firi se o ma no ankopepa o ma ankokeka nsem a ensem fata won nyina edi election headquarters echi ema asumdwe aba enesa ye nuanum bi wo ho nso a ye ka se uhwa afemoni kasae ebinum ko chew if se bribia da me kam se central adwuma no yen adwuma no se Jackson ye nyoma ensem fata wa akiri wa me hu a me ntimi fancy ese se mitimi ka se Larry Dogbe Mama share baby away because o call Facebook bia or the intro bia to honor or their money ye panya menu mienu or their money abusiafo nyina eti me chia na we like dog baby obianom one of our finest media guys here what system enti e chere central adwuma no so no improve ana bambo for no so ti aseba ana eye Ghana for amanyosem ku ani amanyoku for no so ti aseba afi nine bia na ebeto aba we improve in one way or the other. If say 4 years today no na nyoma bi etoche and then improvement abem bambo honsem central for media ye DS honsem and nyoma dodo na honsem improvement ide aba eti e boy nyina ho abaso bambo adwumako no they were lapses especially in my region okobono east atachima honum say pay you be etutuma enya sempa it's all shiri kraba akokora na enya de papa asodeni asobrache so yiditi eno so nipa bi praye nipa bi so fa akwati kwan report e okomadina na obi an nsem inki aye nsem nyina na obeka yebusan se na de e wo nsem nyina no de na wo se me ye de na nka me de we de na eba na nipa nsem nyina da na inki so utim so de akotintim nkrata sa na abu aka de sim mia bebre report ye eno ni asudie se de ye sinto bia wanamontu a oman Ghana etu no ye ntimi mfa hinta ese se yetimi bo ho dero me mfa sa kwanya we so na election headquarters adwumayfo nyina no menka say we did a fantastic job led by Kenansa through to Abu Abdullahi Audu and then ably supported by George Mia any HR ne Linda Money Omoma Kenya team nyina oba technical team no directors ni producers ni production assistants ye ni oti he on ne press la ne Omoma Kenya no and then the team na nkasa omo eye baby on quality figures no strong room fantastic guys Winston is super fantastic Seth Kwamboating Abla de Souza omom go nyina no fantastic unique guys oba eye brofufo emunso oba betu mama view ba betu Kwajo Youngson Evans Winston omunyina super guys oba eye Kantamandu joint so osebo su sheho omahene sheho Diamond ni anochiwa ni asempa any CJ munyina no omunyina sheho ampofo je akuaboachwa omunyina ta muchuku what it tells you and say team na we are tasked to say yesi ebeetri yenye to no we didn't have any other option. We didn't have any other choice than to execute and execute it well. Me borrow insurance company be say if it must be done, it must be done well. Eti Ghana for mu amanoni nyina no oni di adanse ese e bribia dase pe eye bia sonko a eba accuracy in terms of reportage. You cannot miss the ball. Clearly a multimedia group near this and it's not been an easy fight. In fact, fight used advisedly because ye call kono ekojina kwantana erade na srechre and yet me afema bedu sampe pensuwi amakacho there are still reservations but it's far better than amanyo bi omusu eni omuban so omukono ntiase anya adwuma on esuni ban on timi danedi yeda imam fo nyina ase yeda ensori ani asafo mpanyimfo nyina ase yeda peace council fo ase traditionalists ekuwa hudo nyina dom ase esuma hudo nyina so yeda dom ase se ebepiem enawie ya ye kase bibi biara ni ho akochew ewo oman Ghana we admit that one or two infractions be enye papa asefem ahodwiri but Ebenezer
there is more to talk about and the reactions for the people you want to hear from omo elusu ye omo ewini ye no won nyina ebedi enkomo Joseph Opoku Gakpo ewa we would get into parliament na share how the 8th parliament will look like but for special mention monije the female agenda no pushing the women's movement and a female parliamentary candidate winning so far going into the 8th parliament Lydia Lamisi Adakudugu
Debbie obi wasa ashase said me bo kro dima what problem what's ashase dey na say
okay
let's end the year very well Lydia, because I'll take you on if you pronounce now so
Lydia Akanvarip Lamisi Adakudugu
or your vipo ever it didn't nimba you refer to me me esremni
okay do you want to say Lydia Akanvarip Lamisi Adakudugu.
Akanvari.
Also, Rio. Being a chat.
Oh, to was supposed to
Lamisi
Lydia no we need one for surprise
Adakudugu.
Lydia a cover hefa den. Lydia hefa den.
No, Oka say Ramal Hassan.
No, make Lydia we no. Say the constituency for hefa.
Na we o Accra ha. Da bi o do wini wa Accra na ye Lydia o. Oka do two isa ye fe isa
Fuseni no.
Isa Fuseni.
Ono ye den. Ono ba.
Ye ono ye Akurugu.
Da bi Akurugu no ye nyame me adwo asafo honom no. Ana Akurugu no wom.
E ba ma menhwe. Amenhwe. Da bi ono ye Teresa Awuni. Ono ye Awuni. Awuni.
Na Akurugu bi so o.
Akurugu no gina wa yi bia. So no gina wo domi kwa benya. On de so olusu.
Yeah. Na the two for saying no,
only Awuni no. Teresa Awuni.
Yeah. Koko bi na si ejire dem no.
Yeah, Teresa.
Okay, all right.
Ono ni din wa nti man dos Senator Rollins, Lydia Sarah Malhassan, Eslo Usu Ekufo, Patricia Apieje, Nana Madoko Esiame J, Ablaji Fagomasi.
Yeah, former
tourism deputy tourism.
Okay.
De La Soa, Gisela Tete, Agnes Lati, Nane Yia, Ophelia Hayford. Hajia Lariba
Ophelia Hayford nene late MP no. Okay.
Joycelyn Tete, Helen Adjuan Toso, Zeura Ibrahim, Cynthia Morrison, Queen Star Poku Asoya.
Me Giselle bi ne o na ne am I.
Gisela Tete samabo.
Gisela Tete.
Ono two you know.
Oba giant o.
Yeah, ono two George Anda no.
Because giant no opaki one oba interview last day one. Giant o.
Yeah, ono two we know. O2, your friend is saying,
George Anda.
George
Anda is right up there, nice.
Yeah, I saw it. No, I think generally some of the MPs now have shown, some
Dr.
graciousness in defeat.
Why are they too much?
Yeah, you remember, and there were Angela Oforiwa Alowute.
Yeah,
Angela, no. Afaja to South.
DC for the area.
Oh, it was DC. Then DC
okay.
under Mahama, right?
Mahama.
Okay.
And then in 2016, she contested as MP and
then
she's back.
Wow.
She's back now.
Wow.
In Angela Oforiwa Alowute,
okay.
There were Rita na Odole Sowa.
Do you say a popular name?
Yeah, Odole
Sowa. Rita na Odole Sowa.
De La Sowa. Constituency Ben.
When they known a name.
Rita na Odole Sowa. No, I don't have the constituency names here.
Ladekoto.
Okay.
Because
Ladekoto.
Say a Namwali Anna Vincent Sowa.
Yeah.
Anna Wiaba.
Yeah, na Wiaba.
Okay.
Vincent Sowa would do take Honorable Obama.
Honorable
Obama.
Nobody actually from Pazan.
That we saw no Olusu primaries.
No, before Koi. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Ama Poma Boating on also a winning. You were Francisca or team Mensa.
Bano.
Adonko Bano.
Oh, na donko na bone angel bano. Ya wo angel ne wa donko.
Adonko.
Na sanaji.
Anyway, Mavis in Cancer Buedu.
Okay.
Adelaide in Team Ajewa. Frida Akosia.
Ene ma ba mu. So we the Frida de me honom no.
Frida Akosia.
Tano.
Ohene Afrel Prempe.
Frida fu name no. Ohene Afrel.
Frida Akosia. Ohene Afrel Prempe.
The Frida is all the horse you.
No, but that's a nice.
Ohene Afrel.
Ohene Afrel.
And
gifted to man pofo.
Okay.
Abena Osei Asare.
Abena say in the Eastern region.
Yeah.
Deputy Finance Minister, is that correct?
Yeah, Deputy Finance. And a Docas Afotofi. Yeah. Chum, Docas Afotofi no MP.
Afotofi.
Jomoro. Fantana mame. So him Fantana.
Ade a shatter ko last show. Yeah, shatter. Your friend is Shatter Wale. Shatter.
But Fantana mame no.
Fantana mame young woman and I'm wani.
Onyi bebre. Onyi bebre ba swag.
Oh, she got swag.
Otna bruchreche.
Okay.
And the Doctors Afotofi on the web to a fra kwano kra saying Kai Minidi Jomoro MP. Policy.
Deputy a chieftaincy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why one time MP Charlie?
Now when you assume a village ragu for. Wa mama ferry obi. We dey tell you you know that stage no.
We remember Emma I really did.
You never forward about me.
Everybody open up.
Ozebuzu they be also me.
Yawo Doctors a photo officer na maka yawo Tina gifting na Ayele Mensa.
Okay.
Ono so we ni.
Anya Deputy Health Minister.
Yes, yes. And yawo Dakwa ya Newman.
Okay.
In the Dome constituency ho.
Dome constituency.
Yeah, Dakwa ya Newman.
Dakwa na Dakwa.
Dakwa. So Dakwa ya Newman.
Okay.
Yawo Hawakumsin Mavis e Canadian ho. Mavis Hawakumsin so we ni. Linda.
Hawakumsin a special
Special Development Initiatives Minister.
Hey, Ronaldo.
Hawakumsin.
You call your ama.
Koyo no way.
Koyo. Na koyo.
Oh, your friend say you original Kaswano NDC name no.
Na koyo. And I see the Kaswa chairman no see vibe me pana na koyo.
Olusu Poto.
We'll be just in Alan Kojo Chairman. Congratulations, Mr. President, on your well-deserved victory and your re-election as President of the Republic. Congratulations, all MPs elect for good job well done.
Okay.
To all party members and sympathizers, a big aiko for your commitment and dedication to the cause of our great party and one of Nanado's finest picture at Adudi. Or the picture at
Alan
Kojo Chairman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Facebook post, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyways. Enti ma yenhwe yen to aso enti how akoms ye wa Linda Obenewa Akwele Oklu. Oh okay Shayo Sudoku.
Yeah.
Shayo Sudoku. Ye wo Theresa Ladiawoni. We na abetu no. Isa Fuseni.
Teresa no.
Yeah, Theresa Ladiawoni.
Okay, because I know from Christian Village, Ekopim La Paz no. Then call for a joke.
Na baby ewu.
Yeah, baby ewu.
Sophia Karen Edem Aku.
Oh, mama no so no crown and honom koji asasi bi to kabisi no. Okay, say mama no obom yeah. So na order that. No. Oba hey.
E na no ba ha.
Me say oba hu say obono no oba no.
Hwe. E na comfort doyo kujo gansa.
Akowia koyo no and doyo.
E na Sheila Battles.
New one awaba no.
Yeah, for Ablekuma North.
Kwamna Battles.
Bano.
Okay.
Yeah. And ye wo Sarah Adwa Safo and ye wo constituency. E wa Accra.
Ese so mu chim.
Esondodo.
Oh.
Esondodo.
Ezo mu chim.
Esondodo.
Ezo mu chim.
Yeah. Anyway, Emma.
Okani na abumom ye ni person.
Let me see. I think 37. 37.
Okay.
From what have been certified, constituency certified results, 37.
That's equal to the same number of female MPs in
the current parliament, in the seventh parliament.
It used to be 36.
No, 36.
And then Lydia Sarah Malhassan added on to
the 37. In the Emano, Ebia Mekaho.
If
there's a
plus or minus
finalist now,
yeah, so we're
keeping the same 37.
The same 37.
There's any just that
no improvement.
New faces been abem.
New faces be abem and old faces they been sweating me every mo. But young quite into the details. So man baby nyina ye twen because I was say a bob 3 a kokofa NDC won press conference quickly enough but Joseph Opoku Gapo Martin and that Joseph Akwaba na apom to saying
Amiadom bibi aboko ye program kakanga what's what to say
challenge Amiadom
wouldn't dem pay Joseph
no
would you break down the basis here
oh solid
too much
about parliament
oh Joseph there Nchebiano deputy speaker of parliament
Nchebiano
na me remo la bi this ankomo Odobe speaker no as the compromise candidate. Na me maya.
Na why?
Many betting atom plan.
Anyways, and this is here him said 275 members of parliament and they were the current 7th parliament. But my Joy Online a report to say at least 108 current MPs are not returning to parliament in the 8th parliament. 108 current MPs and sign and
willingly
Ebia retire, Ebia lose primaries, and Ebia will lose elections on the 7th of December. But Joseph, my breakdown.
In fact, you're updating a call. 109.
Oh,
109 incumbent MPs here in the 7th Parliament are not returning. As far as the 8th Parliament is concerned. In breakdown. The just ended election year.
Yes.
You have it on December 7th now.
Yes.
There are 35 incumbent NPP MPs almost losing seats. 35 of them.
And a lose seat
yes.
in this election.
This particular election.
And I think it will be fair to run it through quickly.
Let me do that. George Odro Niwe Dubiase, George Anda, Ewutu Senya, Yabuabia Samoa Denta, Boniface Abubakar Sadiq Madina, Siaka Stevens, German North, Yawafo, German South, George Bafo, Wenchi, Derek Odro Kranza, Abna Drowo Mensa, Sin North, Barbara Sheisi, Cape Coast North, Francis Kingsley Kujo, Ekumfi, Alexander Aban Gomwa, area Honomo, not just Onunkwa, Joseph Tete, Apamanya Krobo, the Deputy Eastern Regional Minister, Ebenezer Nati, Ablekuma Central, Haji Ali Mahama, Titus Glover, Joseph Bemka, the Deputy Attorney General. Onososo is no longer there. Adongo Frank Husseini, Ono Eluzi to Eyekletu Sabokawo, Zebila Honom, Anthony Kabo, Deputy Road Minister, Michael Jato Krachi East, Policy and Jomro, Barbara Ting JC, Pristia Honi Valley, Fi Amwa Kohene, the Bono East Regional Minister, and to me, I'm baby.
Gabriel minister there. In fact, minister there because especially when region.
I know you're Bono East.
And said be touching my matina cover. I don't know.
And say area honum ne a lot of ministers and deputy ministers
listen
to me and retain your seat.
Regional minister
Kofi Amwako. No, you remember into those reasons. I mean, per se or run it through. We have a fan one by one, and then we get into
Okay, Isa Husseini. Matthew Nindam Pandai.
Oh,
Samsona, Catherine Afriku, Evaluate Jira, Martin Otijako, Tachima North, Okoboy. And also, Yenina anything. That's the list. So there are 35 of them.
And 35 and an encore
back as far as
to Parliament, as far as
Parliament,
and when you are from the 7th December elections, Omo Elusu,
7th December election,
and Omo Elusu primaries, Omo the Omo Nyakwa contest elections.
Omo no mo yenipa Marco 41.
41.
No mo yenipa Marco 41. Just to run through the list, Joseph Daha Behanzia Sutifi North.
Said that.
No primary
primary was she from Banaba. Me crew no me aware of that. No what me aware. If I'm a canipe boame sum koye. We need improvement. Into obi aba machine biano. Kura de she no ready no monye crado. That any non-performing member of parliament biano. Voice out.
Not that have no money home day.
Oh, please. Me those details. Please.
In that have Lusu primaries. Anyways.
Lusu primaries.
A changed conversation.
Daniel Ochima Boaje, Bantama, and Bekai, what unfolded in Bantama during the primaries earlier this year. Calling so also a man quack, no, also a diomi. Our a Jusso, a honum NPIP boss, no.
NEIP, John Kuma.
I could take you over. Calling so also a man Kwamensian North, Ben Abdallah, Banda Offenso South, Kennedy can come in share so come yasa for James Suta Command the Poso, Joyce Adjoa Ako Day, a Bosome Frehon, Dr. Kuja Piakubi, Achuma Kwama, Joseph Albert Kwam, Manson Quantam, Nana many Mafu Afija, Kwabre North, Dr. Kabnachum Niama Brekum East, Kwesisabi, Doma East. Now on also say deputy minister, deputy regional reorganization minister. On also went to me and survive. Anthony Efa, a Sikumo Dobing Brapa.
Anthony Efa na you better train this from Kobe Stone.
And also is not returning. Makasibe Eboa, chairman of finance committee. Nana Mwakon, Upper Denture East, chairman of Works and Housing Committee. Abraham Odum, a Chofu Eti Mokwa constituency, and also so Eluzi primary then William Japan Kwetu Akimoda constituency. CC in the Tree Crop Development Authority. Ono na kwa boss no. Opare ansa so whom Kwabena Hemiti Nyase no work Kade Eric Dafo Kwachin Koko Ahmed Arthur Vincent Towo Dote Nanekyo Uswe Free Kofi Brakon Alhaji Habib Sad no what Botiano English Amanfum.
Yeah.
Alhaji Wahab Umbe no what Tolon Charles Bintima no what Saboba Dr. Sagri Bambagni Wale no Deputy Great Minister Joseph Ada in Nebeka is original minister no Edinechika from Sansona Sisala East Sisala West ni na omo incumbent MPs ni Luzi primary no Patrick Adamane Redwan Abbas enya de omo baby and then the list continues Alex Ajekum no Wompo on also Olusu primaries you know that's also the list. So there are 41 of them
41 Olusu primaries
in addition to
33 Olusu elections, and that should give us 74 and the 74 members of the majority in the 7th parliament no enya de ombeba 8th parliament no
and see honoma.
Okay,
they are about in fact the total figure is now about 79 because they are about 4 MPs or more majority side honoma. They then decided that they were not
or more retired from parliament.
Dr. Anthony Akutose Tafo Pankrono no ambebiem enyo no kwa apart from no say on the side of the MPP no Shelley Ayokobotwe also decided not to come back Akrofrom Kwabna Apia Pinkra and also so Uncle Beam then and then Dr. Ziblimidi of Gusheu. Now the indication was that he wanted to contest but eventually he decided that he wasn't going to contest. Inti Ukanina Boma 79 of them
on the majority
side.
Wow, 79.
So the primaries within the NPP, yesterday's election, and then
voluntary retirement.
No.
Okay, so, Nipa 79. You share minority nso sisi numbers are elusu primaries no.
15.
15.
There are 15 of them are. The numbers of Omuluzu primary were 9. And then the number that have lost in the main election
15. Okay. In the 15 there, why you 15 we are
let me just quickly run through the 15. Enya dia omo etumi ewini this particular election we just ended no. Derek Dako Ohene Bekwen.
Adesu.
No.
Adesu ko.
Olusu poto.
Ono na ntumi
Oh, now so the poto no so sana wanyade.
Now what numbers no?
Olusu si poto. Maybe I was from team. But say
I'm sure so be some boy. Or from team no poto. I'm from team Yana said you don't sorry be misa. And you're non qua Adam Mutawakilu Damongo ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee. He was very, very confident.
Yeah.
So it was very amazing that he couldn't retain the particular seat.
At the national form.
And you're non qua, you know, at least I don't know the best me as a record. Edward Kali Wola Berry, our MP for Lambuisi, Osaye, Vice Chairman of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee.
Okay.
James Aveji, Deputy, no, and also is not returning. Dr. Robert Baba Kugana Blem, our MP for Binduri, and our Deputy ranking on the Health Committee, and also is one of those casualties. Mahama Shaibu, our Daboya Mankarigu, and also so Nyadia
Olusu elections.
Now with the young fan can support. Okay. Sansona Mohammed Abdulaziz, MP for Mion.
Okay.
And also so Mion survive. Sansona Yagaba Kubori MP, Abdul Rauf Tanko, and also so Mion Baby. Joseph Nabu, the MP for Yoyo, which used to be Bumpurugu Yoyo, and also so Mion survive race. No Sansona. From the indication that we're getting, which we are still confirming, Al-Hassan Umar was Abzugu. The indication is that he may not have picked that seat, but we understand that there are still some issues as far as that seat is concerned. We are still waiting for that. Samuel Abdullah Jabanyute Chireponi.
Chereponi
ono so eluzu ni sita nini na ambwa NDC for ninti,
and that's 15
of them
15 current MPs on the minority side elusu elections and omo elusu primaries no so on the minority no more saying
9 of them Ekosiisen who are from Plain South. He used to be the CEO of the buffer stock company under John Mahama, and then he went to Parliament. Unfortunately, he became a one-term MP.
Oluzu primaries
Went to Nyambe. And you Amenga Itago Chiana Paga. Now also a deputy ranking member on the Works and Housing Committee. And also so Oluzu primary no Ras Mubarak Kumbungu. And also
Ras
primary no. He appeared to have done a lot of work in the House itself in terms of debating issues. Debating policies and all, but looks like the constituency.
Maybe history will be kind to him. Sending are captured in the hands.
Exactly, and in fact, in his case in particular, himself and a number of MPs, including the majority leader, have their signature on a private members' bill that's been introduced in the House. It's not been approved though. It's likely they will try to get it out before the House actually dissolved on the 6th of January, because one of the things that Professor Michael Kwe has insisted that MP should be able to introduce private members bill and set the precedent so that then subsequent parliaments can follow. At least it's been introduced, it's gone through the first reading it's possible. It's actually an amendment having to do with road traffic accidents and a concern that usually when there is a situation of say what could be through road traffic accidents then you can only be put before court for the death of the woman and not the baby. The amendment is seeking to create a situation where then you could stand trial for the death of both of them. Apart from just the woman. It's not so much of a major private members bill, but at least it's a non-controversial issue that has the signature of leadership of both the majority and the minority. As you said, history will be very kind to him because for the first time a private members bill is coming into being. Daniel Kwesi Asiama Buem, Kofi Adams Ekokotuno, Emmanuel Neo Kainlai Yamasaman, Onosusu Oluzu Primary, Aziz Abdul Muniru, the Akan constituency, and also so Eluzi primary, and then Francis Dakura, and then Matthias Kwame Nto Awin.
That's 9 people. 9 from the minority in Elusu primaries. In the Akoka 15, one just acquire 24, and then retirement. No, Urban Bagben Nadoli Kalio. He's not returning because he's retiring. Richard Koshiga, Miami MP. Richard Koshiga. That's Keta. I Keta constituency. Jalukope Honomna. Mema free. Mi MP no. Inusa Fuseni, Tamale Central, is also retiring.
Inusa Zuko.
No voluntary.
Mr. Rich guy.
Inusa Fuseni is solid.
Very much so. BB winnowing committee. Usually it's a bills in the bar. Those who sit down and cross their teeth. Eventually. The majority leader has really complained about how they lost quite a number of those big folks, and some of them are retiring, and he's worried about the way forward. Fifi Kwete, Clement Kofi Humado, Magnus Kofi Amwate, and Dr. Yelo Krobo, and then Dr. Benis Adiku Hohoi constituency. New candidate buyer seat no
Professor ne buyer
if she was around, no one knows what may have happened, but at least
in the total of 109 members of parliament will not return to the 8th parliament on the 7th of January 2021. In the other list, of course, the controversial issue about why a war majority going into the 8th parliament. Enra, many Israeli Edin Komo live from the Electoral Commission or election headquarters. So breakdown Israeli the Mai at the time. Na a NPP 137 seats, NDC 135, independent candidate 1, and outstanding constituencies na 2 in the Obo Upper Dentra West, and Obo I think Sene West and so at the account say no na outstanding. Enti ya share Trent no na Apadentra West. Osha Trent from 92 in fact enya 92 na constituency ni ho na ni nyina ya Apadentra. Enti omo carving out of Apadentra no eba be Apadentra West I think in 2008. No, 2004. 2004. Be free hono NPP na area up until 2016. But at this time, we are to say a very close election. Say, who follow trends in there, you would say, and also will fall to the NPP. But anything can happen. And our Senate West now, and also historically, has voted for the NDC. And you almost say, who follow trends now, you would say, the NDC would pick it up. Say, NDC fa eno na ebeka omo 135 no according to reporter Israel the man that is the NDC benya 136. Na NPP so far Apadentra West NPP anya 138. You know, so to form majority in parliament, we hear 138 seats. Yemfa say outstanding constituencies 2 ni nyina ko NDC wa. NDC beba benya 137. Na MPP so nya 137. Na one independent who is likely to join the MPP. That's MPP across here by 138 and MPP anya majority in parliament. Those are the dynamics. Okay. But of course, when you know permutations are mind you, said there are still disputes on some constituencies, including Seshiyo, also including Takwan Swayem, including Techiman South. And a Savelugu still dispute in these constituencies. Anything can happen. But as it stands now, this is how the breakdown looks like. And therefore, Yemra Yawienesa, and if Yemeshe constituent as a MPC lose on seat, our man, a shaky the whole country. Emudian, I would say a shock or power man.
Well, Jedikai, Dr. Koboy.
Dr. Bernardo Koboy.
Yeah, even though I know, say, that place near purely for the NDC. Na means yeah. My GDA power was that Waboa and Waye Juma a constituency. Yes. And you know, it will be difficult for Adia NDC for their crown or Mobetimi Aji. FM. And yeah, and also say, we're losing them. Say, okay, well, but what's the difference now? And I imagine 1,002 or so. Or no be far from 13,000 difference. And or cover a be winning here. And NDC has a Joma dear with 1,000 and a little over difference. Everyone watches it. A baby and anybody come on what you say constituents Nankasano. You try to do everything for them. But really you cannot today identify Adie Potia because to the best of our knowledge, you know. Say ye coin, say ye dien, say ye one-on-one with them, say ye solving problems, say ye all those things that visibility need presence no when Jan Tumba and it's quite difficult to understand that constituency anyhow they
and I'm make TV so say we might have to question that hypothesis say MP Albebo Humodin both in parliament and in your constituency, or constituent be asaya 2 hours so. Oko boy phenomenon no changes that thing because clearly say open more dembo and Joseph never flaw and he can speak to Oko boy performance in parliament, but at least in his constituency there were 2 very major issues in the constituency. Lekman Road. That road has been fixed. Are there enough fisher folks news who hear pa London Beach. That is underway. Our more area. In terms of Onwangsani relationship with constituents.
Super.
I mean, this is somebody every Monday or dedicated 3 hours of his time to consult our Lekma Hospital. 3 hours every Monday or religiously. Even when he became Deputy Minister of Health. Or youth bobo. And then on now or ride a bicycle throughout the constituency. In terms of visibility, building a bond with the constituent. He probably did everything, and you sometimes wonder why he lost. And me share data and Oman. So we share 2016 when Okoboy won that constituency. He won with a difference of 2,167. 2,167 and Okoboy Eddie Ewini constituency. No? Fast forward to this year. So what's the difference between the NDC and the NPP? Okoboy a poli 54,072.
Yeah.
54,072. Mr. Ayiku of the NDC Enya 55,938. 55,938. In the difference, no, is maybe we would have to do the calculation. Yeah, 55,938 against 54,072. But the presidential, no, in the presidential, Nanado Enya 50,538. In one of the few constituencies are parliamentary candidate ni Lusui. But onya more vote than the presidential. You know, in onya 4,000, almost 4,000 more than Nanado in Lejokoko. John Mahama enya 59,096.
John
Mahama beating the parliamentary candidate. You know, it's really interesting, Lejokoko, how Dr. Bernard Okoboy lost. But of course, I mean, nipa beye bibo and man proposes, God disposes. And maybe a nyankopon send him Cynthia Ebanzi. But Osha trends, and that's why you'll not be surprised, because even in the NDC seat, but even in the NDC, MPB or Modena baby ako 110.
Yeah.
Even in the end,
that was what Dr. Ku was hoping there.
Yeah, I'm going to break sergeants.
Yeah,
and that is the situation in Lejokoko. Very, very surprising. But Joseph, Okoboy's performance in Parliament at the same.
Obviously, it's been good on his side. Particularly on the side of the government. You know, COVID-19 was a very big issue over the last 1 year or so. And he was the main person defending government when the minority folks are raising issues with how government is handling COVID-19 or parliament. He joins the debate. And most of the times, on the floor, I say, one of those MPs are Professor Michael Kwe, Penasem. He's very much excited about the contributions. Most of the times, say, Obi deliver statements, and Bibisa and MPs no do not sorry some person kasa, and they need to limit the number of those some kasa. Now he's one of those who frequently gets the opportunity in order to be able to make the necessary contribution. And then, of course, he became deputy health minister and continued with the defense of various government policies. You can see his performance in the house, wasn't bad. Bibiasa. I think it goes down to that point you made, just like Adentaford. Constituents, no matter your margin, say, oh, the MP now bad, or say about 1 term, with the idea being that once they maintain a record like that, anyone who comes in there and takes over the seat will take them seriously and not take them.
Adenta a bit of, because Adenta, you can't say now he stood a chance of really breaking that record. Of course, the signs were clear that do this, adjust to this situation,
and would allow you to go.
Won't mean that say na enya informant no prompting say ABCD way every day Now if we had to roll out some of the issues by against a man question from Zana, it would just be obvious. Say he should have avoided this one because say you have the opportunity to change it. If you change it, because Ramadan on your body I drew very or yes, a submarine kind of campaign. Boko, but Udi Agra, because the first time you need into Okoboy, it will be very interesting if indeed some maybe any pebble can say, Essence or Miabechi, Nadishi be in the constituency during COVID celebration and a traditional well, but when we get to that point in our body politics, it becomes very funny. It becomes very funny because the person Okoboy, we are seeing who is Okoboy in times of COVID to allow even to go and shop without nose mask.
But even that decision, Krano, was not Okoboy's call.
Exactly, because
Okoboy couldn't have decided, say, Mama, festival.
And yeah.
It is what the law said.
But we need to, if it's part of the reasons, it means it's applicable to some areas. We say, one mama wedding, one mama naming ceremony, one month, we should understand that.
Oh, that's a guy now, too, Major Derek Odro.
Yeah.
Wakase, or no, he feels, say, the biggest reason is, say, but you see, when we do that, politics is local.
But when we do that, you see, we are also trying to educate them into the M1. So yes, sir, the ensheni pressure to Mrashibedjanina must a look up, because what it means then is that what Benjamin Mrashibedjano. So Nyame kwa domina be deputy minister or minister or a board chair, whatever. Your consistency in the village, ubunya question marks. It is a one year. So one wedding. One could naming ceremony, hospital bills, it might not be your intent. You're not careful with the issue of on your local boy because Obia who can represent the constituency, constituency is three important say, Okoboy deputy minister, and when you say for the constituency.
For the constituency, that's true.
So what I say, it is your chance, your constituency, Yantia say, okay, well, your tia so that when you break, but Bomodian say overbalance. Na party reps, no executives, no one anchor extra mile to fill that gap. Most of the time, party reps no mujina on them when you are not there. No, that's where the problem is, because we are there. Ministers still, Emranama Kwan said, man, paying 50% in free Mrashibidjam. The 8th parliament, we are there, Yabetri, and ministers be a free Mrashibidjam. Now, are we telling ourselves, because some of the people that you've hosted on your show, lawyer for a bill for the suggested, say, some ran a cry, if we say, M1 a Juma, as I said, Mrashibidjani, it means Dimu in Wipeyo, and one for minister, a Juma, because all the time divided attention, constituency, the ministry, yourself, your family, national effect, and one of the things on my trouble chambers are majority leader. What the Ghana, boss on time, also, but the Oyama Ghana, when Nigerian and name more constituency was a Master, I deal with the Papano Shen, Ghana, name Yanso executives, and as a party man, Mano. Now, Papa Brea quick. Now,
I'll be going through the official list of very bad list of majority MPs elusu in this election now. Bare 99% were members of the executive.
But when we start thinking that, what we start, when we start, maybe
almost 30.
Yes,
almost 30 of them
out of the 33, you know.
Yes,
out of the
deputy
35,
ministers,
you know?
Either ministers or deputy ministers.
And
no Hadrin from Titles Global or Transport Ministry to Anthony Cabo.
So Michelle list na maybe
Barbara Munyina deputy minister.
Yes, and obviously
in your Lucia George Odro, deputy agreed.
George Anda
deputy communications. Boniface Sade, minister of state. Siaka Stevens, deputy Bono regional minister. Yao Afol, deputy aviation minister. Ali Maiga Hamidu,
Ali Maiga, Domas
West.
Owini. Ali Maiga Lusui.
Order form team. George Jan Bafo. George Jan Bafo, a minister of planning. Derek Odro, deputy defense minister. Your friend Barbara Aisha, you see, deputy works and housing. Francis Kingsley Kujo, deputy fisheries. Alexander Aban, deputy minister communications. Joseph Tete, deputy eastern regional minister. Your friend is saying Titus Glover, deputy transport. Joseph Kwemka, deputy attorney general. Adongo Frank Fuseni, deputy upper east regional. Anthony Cabo, deputy roads. Michael Jato, deputy minister works and house, water resources and sanitation. Paul Essien, deputy chieftaincy. Barbara Otin Jesse, minister tourism. Kofi Amwakohene, deputy Bono. Your friend Wayne saying Okoboy, deputy health. Afolekwe, minister fisheries. Solomon Namlit Boa, deputy northeast regional minister. Martin Otijakon, deputy minister Bono East. Catherine Afeku, minister of state. Matthew Yendam, deputy majority chief whip. Salifu Brahim, that be Salifu Brahim, on your or more and hold the executive positions in the doors.
Yeah.
And we have to probably question that phenomenon again.
No, but we have to also
say the majority caucus in parliament led by the leadership, and they make a case to the president say he should appoint more of the MPs at least as deputy minister.
Well, but Obi and I make say no problem. Obi Akwenya akosum eye o man e wo mrashibedwam. O major first priority e your constituent. No doubt about that. It's a plus. Say Ghana eshe wonimunyam through any position. It doesn't also mean that constituents no say ene say mo de kwabana sante aba no abegina sutifi na say ne abe me say Ghana nyina no me na me health minister. Na me boama Ghana ya pomude wonsem no emu tretre emu eyekama na mitimi nya bre mafie kese sa. If you use that measurement to punish media, what therefore it means that either we review that emrana e ka kire say yentwi nipa dodo na mfiri ma shebedwem and say now one of them come and shebe dwam nyina no obi abehase president from say the person do question abehase say there be president with wadarma
it's an entrenched provision in the constitution. That's the other bit.
It has to go through
and it will be more crucial where this parliament that we're having with the figures being so close. So some minority for need the numbers to the floor virtually on daily basis if necessary.
But the majority bill be a bar. Na say be a minister no nipa na minister say MP na our conference be crowd well broach
untiminko
and we sitting per maso it was a hang parliament so you find say the current figures nimpo ye adwuma na say eventually ekoye 137 in par. No member of the majority can miss any crucial session of parliament. O may say permission.
And the old damn cry the motor to be page over to who page down say we are no hospital.
And obviously that's going to impact the work at the ministry because we hear a lot of the reports out decro they are to about absenteeism in parliament. It's a research group or decro now. Most of the times, a lot of the complaint has been saying ministers who are also members of parliament they miss the sitting in parliament most of the time. So there have been suggestions that is it about time sitting in the house was moved to let's say 2 p.m. so that we can see ministers are staying at their ministry somewhere here later no about parliament and now some other way around it then we can know that but under this particular circumstance, when there is a critical ministry, and unfortunately,
that's what I'm saying.
The Constitution still makes the point that majority of the
ministers should actually
maybe this is the time to look at possibly reviewing that particular provision.
But again, Obi, as we grow in every facet of our democratic life, review or relook at some of these things. So as individuals, we have to
because one say even for Okobo, one of the things initially against him they say Lejokuku seat no be dia when you was on your deputy minister. Nipa nso nyame adom onya deputy minister na ebi nso complain onya deputy minister o mafie o maba and what really do the people
so that's what I'm saying.
Central region say a lot of the casualties were deputy ministers or ministers. Entie bia wabesha kra and there were conference wa ha echina onam ha
enya
inform so a year bi wentimi anko MPs ne nso de wa anya anko ayiye pe
asemaba
masa
but that's why I make us say yes so onyamenyi adom na ye ayenso etumma eyiom no yenyini to a certain level because say okofa o yire na ne wo the hospital bill no ambetua.
You see, but realistically, as a society that has a lot of rural folks near the end, so then what should be the measurement of the performance of an MP based on which constituency? Rebecca said, "Oh yeah,
an agent
said, "I'm parliamentary procedure."
No. In as much as we are on my jumano, and Maureen fee wachi every second so clearly, what Jumani say we share mra name obehwese mpuntu Jumani yedi ebeba mpeso aso. Yes, how do you do it? It is a mokase bribia dano me ti say bribia arguments sometimes it's not about quota wakwa obi kwemu obi pese man be 20 cities and as auto gare bottom. Please, if we don't start changing that mindset, yebeko de bia near the constituency yen pre-school, yen pre-hospital, because what I've come to realize that open years about there 200 every day me to consensus me mount 50 me mount 20, then we turn around to say or say lazy MP
and then there back so I'm saying so say and Koku anyi the whole abba from the Atamels Institute you know say one of the institutes who push for good governance and all of that obewo interest or my fear would be say for a lot of these MPs or Mosaye ministers or Mashe Formal, you would realize that one opponent were always in the constituency. Ain't me no, say me NDC no we MPP ni, and I we MP was a minister. I won't time a crummy de bia me to constituency. A year bia me kobi. Nipa ne nso wini, and sisi na wo aba be MP no. The constituent will measure you by the same standards. So. Give me
this education because I tell my children. Ebinom so kra de say okom na hye on kasa de ntene me kwa metima kasa atwa na no educate me kwa na me kasa
Davi take it time e bia obe make statement be on the floor
because it's dangerous so what now 4 years ni
and for you so sad the power on the ground so ye who TV so on kasa and I'm like
but it works both ways ebi muso hu ne say o he adenta honum say apart from the concerns about development the idea that this is a community where a lot of middle class people will pay attention to the media and you know one of the things that possibly worked against him is his continuous defense when it comes to various government policies. Japan, you know, by virtue of the fact that he's communication director of the NPP. And, you know, if all civil society groups are kicking against a particular...
Now they would defend it.
And you are the lone ranger. And this is, of course, maybe I will call a rural community. MP the people will just be excited that we are seeing him on TV. We are hearing him on radio. But in a community where a lot of the people are middle class, no, they pay attention to what you are saying. And if they have concerns and they think what you are saying is out of place, no, and regardless of the fact that you've helped accelerate or facilitate development, no, they may just come to a conclusion and say,
now representing African Assembly.
Working both ways, and particularly at dental hair. The way the seat flipped, no, Adamu Ramadan ABT Yabuabia Samoa by about 1,400 votes a year last 4 years. This time around, Ramadan be margining by 13,000. 13,000.
That be way mum Yabuabia Samoa ABT Ramadan by 1,400.
Now confusing. This was in 2016, and after 4 years now, Ramadan about between by 13,000. 13,000. You know, presumably more than 12,000.
But you know it. They're okay. You see, both parties in this case, especially the MPP, even Yabuabin primaries, you know. You know that conversation. Ode ema Ghana nkoju wi. Na sema ebeki kawano. And I can clearly tell you people in that constituency, MPP known people.
Asempa FM.
Omo si nkete.
Say ombema ya ababia lose.
Omo be mane lose no mo MPP fu no mo campaign tiano. It happens in all the parties. Ni nyina na enyoma ba ko mienu miensem na de ba. Se mo se mo jike ma menka bintuma. And typically de bia me can be for while lucky. Se ka kojo ba Ajimai. Ne hoye any other idea like about no die.
Because I was saying that easy for them to lose. In any other constituency.
So in as much as Yansu constituency, you know, we pay up, no, the parties should also set up because that imposition when it's a BMP, one also a grassy show boy any man. Come now and take Haram Precopomus if you have to deal Zambana. Yeah, can be a chance say, well, if you have to deal I am pa, but Momani and Bondeka because you're show boy order that. You say there be sense of free half. Yes, and a idea. It will match you say Alexi Bomb, what's not put much. I want to my Alexi Bomb, no more jaw.
And also for me, a lot of the skirt and blouse because in Central Region, 20 constituencies.
Yes.
Another one, I think 19, another one presidential.
No, parliamentary, he
won presidential in 19 out of 23 constituencies. But parliamentary, skirt and blouse was clear. But I remember Koku Akwaba, Nian again chair on this particular.
But before subject. That, now just a government Kwanaka Starboy. Also, your Starboy interview.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
No, Rebecca for me. Mamma Koku Akwaba, na pom to saying. Bibi Akwe.
Well, children put Hebedana say at least as that the life is back to normal in the city.
life is not really bad. Life, I feel that she should know kakra.
Well, at least with the declaration of the results, the presidential results in the Ghana for Jatum say Sana Bam. So done a better in wants to say at least a January Ghana.
Yeah. On into some details as to Neoma a course in this election and all of that from one some observation as an institute. But Yenshem Komo Ayedi, MPs I follow Bebrena members of the executive. Me who said now will nod to the proposition say Anka Yenshe amended that portion of the constitution and my president a shene say only majority of his ministers from parliament. What do you think of Sadia Wayne?
You will be. I mean, good afternoon to your listeners in chat here for now. I mean, Obi, I see Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Thursday. I respect this country. Oh yes, I respect this country called Ghana. Any democracy, any Ghanaians. Now, the verdict is out there. Say Ghanaians have grown past propaganda. Oh yes, Ghanaians have grown past propaganda. You know, in media, in communication studies, you have something you call the bandwagon effect, the boomerang effect. Obi, what Ghanaians did, Masa, I respect Ghanaians. They spoke him. 137 as it is now. Or as it will be, most likely. Independent, no? From now. And the best swing here. Most likely we know where he will go. But it just tells us that look, this thing called democracy. Of course, there was an urban revolt against the MPP. The phenomenon of the urban revolt. And so many reasons could account for the urban revolt. Hardship. Closure of all these financial institutions, the banking institutions, poverty, urban poverty. But the free education, planting for food and jobs in some of the rural communities also gave the MPP some space. So there was a bit of a balance. Of course, the presidential media is out, like you are saying. That majority of the people gave it to Nana Akufo-Addo. He has his authority. Obi, for me, the last parliament, it was 106 against 169. Maybe the MPP felt too comfortable. The MPP felt too comfortable. 106, 169. Gap no so.
63. Difference, 63.
Exactly. They could afford to do anything. Now, we must talk. Let's negotiate. Into the concept of winner take all, no matter.
It'll be free.
And
that's how it will start.
Exactly. Luckily, the last parliament, and fine. In fact, this current parliament. So and we may be on the 6th of January. Thank you. The fact say now this parliament has agreed say you can put across a private members bill. Institute in terms of public policy advocacy and civic education, because now we are now going to enjoy our democracy and grow it. Consensus building, the kind of thing President Mills wanted to do. Let's talk, so that Obi, if tomorrow anybody sees Kokwanyido talking with Osei Chairman Sabunsu or talking with Wuntumi, it's not because Koku is a traitor. It's because that's how we are going to build the democracy going forward.
And that's what Ghanaians want.
That's it. And they have spoken
through this election.
So President Akufo-Addo is getting his second term. So back to appointments. In as much as Constitution is a majority of ministers
should be from Parliament.
Good. Now, how do we do this? So the president now is going to take his time, first of all, even in selecting the ministers. Not just anybody will become a minister. Because you are going to go before Parliament for vetting. And it's not any roughshod kind of thing. So who are the ones who are going to go before Parliament for vetting?
Committee.
Now, when you get the job as a minister, Master, you know from day one, say you can't take anybody and anything for granted. Yeah. I am happy for the president to the extent that he can now look his ministers, appointees in the face and stamp his authority. That, hey, I got this mandate because of what I stood for. I will not sit down for any of you to mess me up. So having a president who now can stamp his authority very, 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 very well, and nobody can ask him any question. Also, my appointment as minister, as DCE, as whatever, you know that if you don't perform, you are in trouble. Now, there was an issue of say conference. Ministers be wahua. Sebe and tuntumu ya conference crowd person oko. Say once na no press conference a person oko. Now, untumin call once na no press conference. Untumin call tuntumu press conference.
You have to stay home.
You have to stay home and work. So that VIP will not be buzzing again. Yeah. That VIP, I'm like, no, sir, stay home and work. So you're going to have appointees that have no option but to stay and work. Yeah. It's good for Ghana. Yeah. You have to think, Master. I'm sure there are people cry, Master, you from say more appointment. They will say, Master, for our appointment because it's not going to be an easy ride any longer. Yeah. You're going to have to work. Sweat it out, roll up your sleeves, dig your feet in, and work. And that's what Ghana needs. So if there was any attempt at a point in time, now, of course, we share numbers now. Ashanti region, stronghold of MPP.
Yes.
Minjin is a turnout, more than 75% in terms of the total turnout.
The total turnout
for voting.
Yes, I'll check that and get
Volta region also the same thing. It can be more than 70% for total turnout. It means that there's some almost 30% from here analysis at Tamils Institute in the stronghold of the NDC anka almost repeat 85%. It could have been different. Yeah. In the same way, MPP, if they had shipped up 85% in Ashanti region, it could have been different. So it means that there was a lot of despondency, apathy. People didn't turn out to vote. On year rounds, by 3 p.m. Now don't vote here. Of course, kudos to the EC. Say omuchi chair police stations. Yes. Yeah. Kudos to Jean Mensa and the Electoral Commission, Sribo Kwaku, Tete, and then the other Bossman Asare no more. Yenuya Sylvia no more. They have done a fantastic work. The pressure, the thinking, say omu nyeni ye machines here now machines here by Obi. All the talk about it as a machines no, you're programming machine or baby say emra na embe to aba endi emwa obi no masa yen nyina ikoye verified. It means that the machines were not pre-programmed to vote for anybody. And he said if it is 137 that is it. So I think we have come out of an election that will prove to us politicians that you can't take the electorate for granted any longer. So all the propaganda, what you are saying, people are more station, and I said we are multimedia. Most saying discerning minds.
Discerning mind, radio for discerning listeners.
Thank you. Now, within the next 4 years, and for us as an institute, what we are going to be doing in the next 4 years in terms of our public policy advocacy. Once the National Commission for Civic Education, they have their office within the EC headquarters.
Okay.
I Miniaba Josephine Nkrumah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about time say NCC Enya Nenaya Ebejinaso. So that from January of 2021 up until December of 2024 Obi, there must be continuous
public education.
That's it. Continuous. Because if in some constituencies you are still getting over 1,000 rejected ballots, there's a lot of work to be done in terms of educating the voter.
That's right.
But as it is now, the EC has done a fantastic job. Jean and her team, they've done a fantastic job. The media, I think that on the average, you have done a very good job. There was not too much sensationalism. Munya Botre, there was no time for needless propaganda. Even at the time that your machines were telling you, say you were just telling the public what you have gathered. You were not making any declarations. And so I think that, on the average, Ghana's democracy is going to grow for the better. That parliament, or this 8th parliament,
the 8th parliament.
Yes. Is it the 8th or the 9th?
No, what would be the 8th parliament.
The 8th parliament.
Currently, the 7th parliament.
Good. So the 8th parliament. Then again, on the scale of equity, since 1992, NDC, Enya 92 to 2000.
Yes.
I President Mills.
Yes.
Sorry, President Rawlings.
Yes.
The good Lord bless his soul. President Kufuor, Ebinya 2001 to 2008.
Okay.
And NDC, Sambaye, between President Mills and President Mahama, Enya 8 years. So the NPP has also gotten its 8 years.
8 years.
So on the scale of equity, we have balanced it.
Yeah.
2024 will be a redefining moment. And that is where I believe say all the political parties. And then NPP has no option but to pamper the Fomina guy.
The Fomina. Kahunim, Maminko. And this headquarters in Rankofa press conference. Ekosiisen Sempa FM still looking into the 2020 elections and matters arising. General Mosquito, Honorable Asiedu Nketia, addressed a press conference live from Adabraka, the NDC headquarters.